level of RNG, obviously the most notorious, is where is that zone going to pull?
Expecting some big damage coming out of him this weekend. There's just so many different varieties, even the new shotguns, of course, you mentioned. Lots of different ways that teams can not have necessarily just one best shotgun, not one best assault rifle. Lots of ways to express yourself in the game. Are you more of a close box-to-box player? Do you like to play a little bit further away when you're taking fights? And that's what I'm interested to see a lot of our teams doing. How can they show their identity this weekend, applying themselves in the new strategy and the new season?
Do you guys feel that, like, in that moment-to-moment, right? So let's say we're going to have this surge strategy. We're going to need this loadout. Does that change moment-to-moment? Does that change zone-to-zone?
Yes, 100%. Obviously, you need those long-range tags. You're going to go for the ARs, having to get those storm surge tags, of course. But once you get closer, once you get to the end game, you're going to go fighting box to box. You want to make sure that you have your favorite shotgun. And really, depending on the player, you might see Sovereign, you might see the Gatekeeper, or you might see that Hammer Pump.
Yeah, or even those dual-wield SMGs. Those things are absolutely crazy. I think a lot of teams, a lot of players will be looking to pick those up towards the later stage of the game. When everyone's a little bit closer, you don't necessarily need that range of the assault rifles, of course. It seems like the burst is the most common one for the players that are trying to get the storm surge tags. It's not quite as good in box, so expect to see a lot of teams trying to switch that up going into the late game.
Is there maybe a weapon or two, or an item, or anything that, you know, if these off-spawn situations don't happen? Oh, you know what? Oh, guys, I'm getting word. I'm getting word. It is that time. Once again, from the bottom of our hearts, we are so thankful for your patience. That's right. It's game time. Let's send it up to our casters for game number 1. When you see us, we want to see W's because we're ready. It looks like the game is just about to kick off here. Let's jump into match number 1. All right, Fort Worth, here we have it. We are kicking things off here at the FNCS Global Championships. And of course, we know what is in store for us.
Already getting a close-up pay-per-view of what's taking place here with Queasy and Thomas. And you have to keep in mind, Duke's Sphinx not too far from this location here at Research Rock. Brawler's Battleground, I think, providing a decent opportunity for a little bit of early clashing potentially.
We'll talk about those early clashes. We already know what's going to happen here. It's Malibuca Murstache versus the Powered Alex, the Power Worthy. First tags are going to go to Carmine Corpse Murstache, though.
Yeah, that was a big shot implemented there by Murstache. It's going to provide a lot of pressure as well, just enough for him to be able to group with Malibuca. They've already found a Flowberry Fizz. They're getting the shield online. Worthy and Alex know that they've got to be fast on these Avengers chests.
Yeah, and this is not the only contested team, right? There are going to be other fights happening here. Play close attention to what's going to go down, though. Power Alex and Worthy do have a little bit of a disadvantage here, playing the low ground as the standoff starts to develop. Meanwhile, a quad contested drop spot for Peterbot and Boyo, who have control of their side, where Trashy and Threat seem to be in a little bit of a head-to-head.
Well, hold that thought, though, because for a moment it seemed as if we were going to, potentially be dealing with Kazian Aspect here, but I don't see them anywhere in sight, NDF. I think right now, Swizzy, Yapko, they're just trying to do what they can to prevent themselves from being the victims of Trashy and Threats currently, but also keep in mind what Peterbot was saying earlier on. That bot is always going to be ours. Emma Frost's Medallion and that Mythic Striker Burst, that's everything that they're after, and he's already collected it.
Wow, so Peterbot and Boyo already off to a great start here. Clearly, they have the advantage. Clearly, they even have the respect of the teams landing here not to step center foot into their location.
It's only a matter of time, though. As soon as that reveal Medallion actually procs, there's going to be 15 seconds that Swizzy, Yapko, Threats, Trashy, they're all going to be marked here at the raft. So escaping might not be the solution. They're going to have to fight their way out of this.
We've seen the interviews. We've seen, Trashy and Threat's perspective on this. They already know that they're going to have a problem with Swizzy and Yapko, and that Peterbot and Boyo will just be waiting for their opportunity as the time continues to tick on. You can see they're doing just that, ready to possibly pounce here in the coming moments. But Vino and CLIX, y'all, are here, and they are indeed contested.
The moment these names lit up on screen, you can just hear the crowd going crazy. I mean, a clear fan favorite for good reason. And I think the most incredible part about it is just listening to CLIX talk about the fact, hey, we just found out a couple days ago, yeah, we are going to be contested. But for Damo and Resigns, you have to also factor in, this is familiarity for them. Sandy Steps has been their home as well.
Yeah, and this is a lot of respect coming from both sides. CLIX and Vino, of course, just feeling out the playing field right now, playing the outskirts, meaning that no team can, you know, rotate from behind them, whereas Resigns and Damo are content with their side of the map. But Middle Eastern teams are on the set here. Haman and Cal Gamer now up against the likes of CZB and Nathan, who's underneath them.
And CZB and Nathan, I think, definitely one of those teams that I think a lot of people would view as that potential underdog story. But the interesting aspect is knowing that they are going to be contested here at Grand Glacier. And what we're seeing a lot of right now, MDF players that are just having these small, mild interruptions to their traditional loot paths, and what kind of dominoes effect that might have after the fact.
And also, just look at how many players are alive. This is about as intense as it can get when there's this much money on the line, when you have this much time, right, to wait, sit, contemplate your strategy. What are you gonna do when the call comes? You have to answer it. Chapentini here, pushing the pressure, pushing the conversation right now. Ager's not looking good for him. He's gonna be the first to fall, and that's one NA team down.
Bit of a tragic start there for Rise and Agers, but their downfall is Teeny and Chaps Uprising. Bound to be super happy with the elimination damage that they just secured there. Surge tags are always going to be so crucial. And in a lobby like this, MDF, we know that we have so many heavy power hitter teams. That's gonna be insane to think about. You have to connect on every single shot.
Well, here's someone who's going to do just that. Thomas HD doing an excellent job holding his high ground. He's got the angle down on the teams there in the distance. I saw Gone and Quanti as well, still at Mount Olympus. We know that they have that drop spot, not for free, but again, that southern side is theirs at the moment. Queasy and Thomas HD are going to be happy with these tags, right? This is the bigger picture of hyper-competitive Fortnite. It just doesn't get more difficult than this. Clearly, we have a lot to talk about when it comes down to Cammy and Seti. This is a team that is a favorite and a favorite for a reason, as is Vico and Flixie, some of Europeans' strongest coming up, and I dare to say part of the new era.
Sparks already started to fly though. Vico trying to see if he can get an overhead view onto Virgo and Shadow. A little bit of a wraparound. Virgo now trying to see if he can switch, but Shadow, he's left too exposed. Vico, Flixie, they take the opportunity. They try to collapse. A nice connection, but at the same time, Shadow still standing. Virgo knows it's time to bail. And they're gonna force themselves into a disengage, but Flixie, he's not interested in that. Flixie wants more.
Oh yeah, this is a storybook kind of conversation right here. This is something that we expect it to happen. If you're going to go up against the likes of Flixie and Vico's pathing, you just have to get out of the way or get ran down. And Virgo and Shadow are going to be another NA team to fall here to the hands of a European juggernaut. And, you know, this is, again, I have an inkling just to start for Flixie and Vico.
Hey, there's a big reason why these guys have Reckless Railways uncontested. You do not want to have to deal with some of those up-close and personal box fights early on, but Paper, Victor V, they've also found themselves in a little bit of skirmish here. Clone, alongside Kremsu, trying to make sure, but they've got to be careful. Look at the stealth opportunity here. Gone and Quanti, absolute ninjas.
They're getting really close here. A lot of danger lurking nearby, and Brazil, of course, known for what they're capable of when it comes down to jumping in and playing aggressive, and they do just that, but no, the ambush was unsuccessful. Paper, oh, so close, escapes by the skin of his teeth. Talking about Brazilian teams sneaking up. It's Persa and Ed, also on the prowl right now.
Everybody just crouch walking up to all of the commotion that this box fight is bringing just outside northwest side of Mount Olympus here. And the most important aspect though, Paper, you gotta respect that 180 turnaround, throws up the middle wall, makes sure to protect himself. But Persa, Ed, they've now found an opening, but it's gonna be cut short. Victor V, Paper, all these teams starting to congest here, and a surge base on top to boot.
Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Persa and Ed are recognizing we have to get in a fight. Like, whether we want to or not, Storm Surge is going to become an issue. And if you're unfamiliar what that means, when there's a certain amount of players alive, the game is going to force you to fight other teams. damage will start to rain in the visual of lightning bolts and take you out the game if you're not being active.
The real thorn in the side right now, though, for Victor V and Paper is it's evident that they want to get inside of that bunker. Clone and Kremsu, though, they are doing everything in their power to prevent anyone else. They might find themselves trapped at the bottom of it for a time being, though, because keep in mind, teams do like to hold whenever they find duos inside of that bunker.
Quanti and Gone also setting up, looking back inwards, trying to see what's going to happen here. Meanwhile, Victor V and Paper really wearing the results of this drawn-out fight on their loadout right here. You can see ammunition starting to run low, builds even shorter than that. It's only going to be a matter of time before this starts to go super south, so if Paper and Victor V can't step up and finish this fight soon, it's not going to be good.
Yeah, but at this point, they have to find closure. There's no opportunity to retreat. You are all in at this stage. They've invested too much time, and they know that they need more surge tag damage as well. Clone, Kremsu, more than content to sit this one out, though, because the weapon bunker is sounding, and they're going to have the advantage once it opens.
Yeah, if they get to jump down there first and, of course, secure the goods, there's going to be a lot of loot that's going to be given out to Clone here shortly, but Paper and Victor V don't want